Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your week. It has been 2 weeks since I last talked to this person, and I feel like a lifetime has passed by, and that's just in pop culture. Also, a life in our own lives have passed by. She, of course, is fresh off one of her weddings. If you remember last time, she was talking about the 63 weddings she was going to be going to in this next summer. She is now fresh off of one. She is calling in from Cincinnati. If you watch this on YouTube, she looks like she's off of like a Nancy Meyers movie. She's in a white, beautiful sweater. It's a white background. It is very chic. The one and only Sophie Ross. Sophie, welcome back.
Hi. I also haven't looked in a mirror all day, and I'm like, oh my God, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm very like shiny right now. And you know what?
Who cares? Look at me. I'm very shiny too. I'm shiny. I just woke up from a nap. I can't believe I woke up from a nap and I was dreaming about this stupid Vanderpump Rules that I cannot wait. Even though it's exciting, I'm so excited in a month when this is all over.
Oh my God.
Do you feel the same way?
I never thought I would say this, but after watching the finale, I'm like, I am Vanderpumped out. Like, I didn't even listen to any recap podcasts. And usually I do after every episode. Yeah. I listen to recaps. I'm like consuming all the content. I was like, I need to move on with my life at this moment. Like, well,
I do, but I'm going to give it this month. And then I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to Kristen Doty. I'm going to burn up. We're going to write things down and we're going to go pish posh and we're going to make pish posh on that. It's a lot though. And you know what I think it is too? It was so damn dark. You know, we've been making jokes this whole time, and the finale was like, there's tons of things to poke fun at, but I just got this overwhelming sense of darkness because you're like, man, this was so involved. This was like the heist of a century, you know?
The emotions felt very real. And I know that it's like,
finally,
we've seen Ariana like on her, like doing all of her press and all this. And she looks so great and looks so happy and like she's doing well, which is amazing. And it's like, it was hard for me to kind of reconcile that with like her being devastated.
I know.
A few months ago, but you see that she is genuinely devastated. And it was like devastating conversation to watch. And I'm glad that in the finale, they were like, we're throwing you right in there. Like they did not wait for the confrontation between
it was the front scene of the whole, it was the first scene of the whole episode, and it set the whole thing up, and it was sandwiched by that, and it was really sandwiched on the other end by Scheana and Tom's conversation.
Which was like, oh my God. She knocked
it out of the park.
I have been such a Scheana apologist for years and years and years. And I feel so vindicated. Like she is such a good friend. She was just feeling so protective in that moment. Like I just loved her so much in this episode. And yeah, I feel proud to be, what are Scheana fans called? Sheeners?
They're just called Scheana fans. They're called good as Golders. We're good as Golders.
By the
way, I would love to be Lala in the Uber One commercial. She's in this too. She's like, money. Yeah.
Uber One is good as gold.
Oh my God. Sophie,
so I can't get that out of my head. And you know what else I can't get out of my head is
what?
I don't give a fuck about Forever Girl. Your friendship is bullshit. And Tom goes, no, it's not.
You know everything. Miss Know everything. He screams in her face. Well, what is the difference also? I'm so excited to talk to Sophie about this, you guys, because I've talked this out. Obviously, you've heard. I've done like 8 hours of podcasting, but I wanted to talk to Sophie because it's just one of those things. That's what I love about when Bravo really fires on all engines or reality show does is you want to talk about it with the people that you want to talk about it with. You're like, oh my God, what about this moment? Like he wept like openly with Schwartz.
Wait,
but to Ariana,
I will say my boyfriend I've never seen him laugh harder than when Sandoval was at Lisa's house and he was like, like he was cracking up. It was so funny. It was so funny.
He is let in by one of the housekeepers, and he's like, "Oh, it's raining out there," you know. And he heaves on the glass, and you can imagine the poor housekeeper's like, "No, I just cleaned that. No, Mr. Thomas, no."
Oh my God. Oh my God. Did you hear? Okay, so apparently Ariana and Lala unfollowed Lisa Vanderpump, but then it came out that they like never even followed her.
Okay, we've been talking about this on this show now for like about a 2-month period. Is everybody needs to chill with all of the conspiracies. There is a really amazing thing that's horrific that has happened that's on the show. Everybody else saying all this is fake and all of this other crap. Raquel's pregnant, Rachel's pregnant. Let's calm the F down because they never followed Lisa and vice versa. That is just BS. People are trying to create things that already existed or don't exist at all. And that with this last 3 days, we've gotten a lot of the stuff that's about to come out of the reunion on Wednesday is that potentially Raquel or Rachel is pregnant and she's hiding out in Tucson instead of a mental health facility. Sophie, what do you think about this?
I don't think it's true. And I've had multiple people DM me and be like, I can confirm it's not true.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about cast members on the show, but people who I trust and people who I think actually would have inside information. And they're like, it's not true.
I've talked about.
Yeah. And apparently she was smoking cigarettes at the reunion, which again, it's like.
She was vaping. She was ripping that vape.
There are obviously people who smoke while pregnant, but like, I don't know. I feel like that's a sign that maybe she isn't. I don't know. I don't believe it personally. But then wow.
You know, of course. And by the way, I think that the when you cheat at this, when you cheat the Mount Everest of cheating, of course, then it leaves you open for anything to be possible. But what I think we're about to find out is like one of two things. I think the timeline, I believe, is a lot longer now than 7 months that this was happening. I believe that is one of the things. And I believe potentially we're going to find out there's more than just one person that Tom is cheated with besides Raquel, Rachel, because he has that scene with Scheana. It's like, there was one other person and Scheana was like, what? So I have a feeling there's more than one other person that he's cheated with. I think those things.
Ariana and Watch What Happens Live, like even Andy didn't know. So people saying like, oh, Billy Lee, like that information probably comes out at the reunion. It's like, I feel like the way Andy was like, who are you talking about? Like Andy had no idea who she was talking about.
I also feel like sometimes Andy is like that salesman that he's like, what? Like I feel like Andy sometimes holds on to
I don't know, but there have been rumors that Tom like may or may not have hooked up with Billy Lee while he was with Ariana. So like there's also that. But like Ariana was being very cryptic about it on Watch What Happens Live, which I understand. But like I don't know.
The other thing too.
He definitely was a serial cheater, in my opinion. If I had to guess, I would say that Tom was probably a serial cheater. It wasn't even just Raquel or this other girl. Like, I'm sure it was girl after girl after girl.
Well, and for all the men out there just listening, remember, if you cheat one time, that's okay. That's just a one-time mistake. But if you're a serial cheater, that's where it gets bad. The one time. So it's okay to cheat once, right?
Yeah, totally. Just once you got like a hall pass. Like my hall pass, I feel like if like I, in some circumstance were in the same room as Timothée Chalamet.
Oh my God. So Timothée Chalamet, you and Timothée Chalamet. Come on. How dare you?
What are you trying to say? You don't think I have a shot?
Because the guy looks he looks like he's been 13 for the last 10 years.
Wait,
he looks 13 years.
Do you think I'm like bigger than him? Because I know I probably
Oh my God, did you see that one meme with him and Kylie? And it was like legs, and it was like tiny legs. It was tiny bird legs.
Tiny little legs.
Regular lady
also,
legs.
I don't believe the Timmy and Kylie. Did you see that thing where that story, because every single week there's like a new story about how they're like getting to know each other and having fun, but like there's been no actual sightings of them together. And the story was like, the source confirms that Timothy loves how she's a hands-on mom and a boss. And then someone reposted the same exact quote. A source confirms that Pete loves that Kim is a hands-on mom and a boss. Like,
Kris Jenner's slipping, dude.
Chris, you are getting lazy.
She's on too many yachts with Tommy Hilfiger and Corey Gamble in Italy. She needs to like step it up. But also,
is that where she is? She's on a yacht.
She always yachts with Hilfiger. I remember multiple videos of them yachting in like the south of France and Italy and stuff like that. But I'd always remember Kylie. It reminds me of like Willy Wonka and the chocolate factory, like, Mommy, let me have all the chocolate. Like, why doesn't Timothy want to hang with me, Mommy? Please,
I know.
please.
And people are like, well, the fact that Timothy's people haven't denied it probably means there's like a kernel of truth to it. And I'm like, Timothy's people are not concerned about like his stupid like dating rumors that are being made up about him. Like he's like filming 70 Oscar-worthy movies right now. Like
I will say that guy films like a new movie a week. It's like because he has the sequel to Dune coming out. He has the Wonka movie. He has like 3 other independent films.
Dune 2.
Dune
Which,
2,
by
the
the way,
Dune
I
Arena.
just found out recently that Bones and All, which I watched, and that was his like cannibal movie with Taylor Russell.
Yeah.
That was actually filmed in Cincinnati, my hometown and where I am right now. So I thought that was fun.
That's one of the best places to film a cannibal movie, I hear, is in Cincinnati.
Yep.
Skyline Chili and cannibal movies.
That's what they make the chili with.
Wait, do you think there's some kind of like for celebrities and rich people, like there's a service where like you can use like Timothy's like, okay, I'll let you hint that you're dating me and it's $1 million. If you actually want to date me, there's a $5 to $10 million fee.
Honestly,
you don't want to spend that?
For PR relationships and especially for Kardashian PR relationships, I 100% believe that it's like a negotiated, like paid thing. Like I was reading that on Crazy Days and Nights, which I know that people have mixed feelings about.
NT Lawyer, yeah.
NT Lawyer, but saying that Kendall and Bad Bunny is like totally like just fake ass PR bullshit.
Would you see him at the Lakers game, Kendall and Bad Bunny? Their body language, like the one picture, if you just look at the picture, it looks like, wow, they're close talking. But if you look at the overall video, it kind of seems more friendly. And she's talking to her other 2 friends on the right side of her more than Bad Bunny. And which is always, by the way, Bad Bunny fans, and I know there's so many Bad Bunny fans, do you guys use his real name or do you say Bad Bunny? Because sometimes as a grown man, yeah, I feel silly saying Bad Bunny. Like I'm like Bad Bunny didn't look happy.
Benito. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, just to go back to VPR really quick, the thing that Sophie's also referring to about that information is, remember, Andy does one-on-one interviews with Raquel, Tom, and Ariana. So supposedly whatever is going to be revealed is in one of those one-on-one interviews. Since Ariana doesn't know, I'm assuming it's with Tom and Raquel. Also, I assume it would be with Raquel because Tom seems pretty set on trying to keep these lies straight. So I have a feeling if Andy were to get any information, it potentially would be out of Raquel, who would let something slip and then be like, oh no, you know?
Wait, it's so... Oh my God. Like the whole, like, first of all, Raquel is so bad on the finale. She was so like, there was that. And then also the preview of the reunion.
Dude, she just walks out. I can't tell if she knows what's going on. If she knows you can't tell on her face that anything's happening.
And also speaking, I know it's just like there's nothing going on up there. And also the part where, like, speaking of Sandoval not being able to keep his lies straight, Schwartz, when Schwartz was like, August, I found out in August. And what do you mean you found out in August?
Dude, what are you talking about? And then Lala goes, oh my God.
You didn't get your lies straight before the reunion. Like and also Schwartz on the finale walking into that girl's convo with that big ass grin on his face.
He's like, what's up? What's up, guys? Oh, man. Oh, shucks. You got to understand, it's been hell for me, you guys. Everybody thinks I'm a part of it because you kind of did lie about things. So, of course, you're a part of it.
Because you literally are, Schwartz. Like, I'm so glad that he's finally just not able to get away with everything like he used to be. Like, he is getting a lot of heat, and rightfully so.
But still, he's getting away with it. He's still fine because he's still using that puppy dog, woe is me. Like, how dare you go to Ariana's face and go, you got to realize I'm like getting lumped in here as well. And it's like, not right now, dude. This is not about you at all. Did you see the text message he sent her? Was saying like, treat yourself, girl. Go and just spoil yourself. He sent this text to Ariana saying like, sorry about our guy, bud. Like, and it's like, who are you talking to? Like, this is
That was
ridiculous.
The most infuriating text. It just made it worse. If I were Ariana, I'd be way angrier after receiving that text.
I said, how did I walk away from the finale almost being mad at Schwartz as much as I am mad at Sandoval? Like, I was like, this guy, the only thing worse could have been he could have put in that crazy emoji with the eye one way and the tongue one way. Like, oh
my God.
Like
crazy emoji.
This series of emojis to Ariana, like, oh, I'm dead, dog. Okay, so Raquel also, I think that's the big, as a woman though, you're in a similar age range to Raquel. We always try to infantilize Raquel. We always like, well, she's a child, blah, blah, blah. But 28 years old is not a child. Like, how do you even go about dissect? And I know we're not going to diagnose her, but how do you go about dissecting any of this behavior? Because I feel like it goes one step further than finding your identity in men. There was like this overall plot, while she was in Ariana's face, talking about bodies and all that stuff.
Yeah. And in that confessional where they were like, so why did you do it? And she's like, I just wanted to know what it would feel like to be physical with someone I loved, because I already did love him as a friend. But and I was like smiling. I was like, what is wrong with you?
No, it's
like, there's some sort of, and I'm not diagnosing either. I think that there's some sort of personality disorder there. And Ariana was right where she was like, this woman, and I'm going to say woman, she's not like a little girl. She's 28. This woman does not know who she is. She is trying to find her identity with men, and she has no identity of her own. She's kind of just like this scary blank slate. Like, it really is frightening.
It really is. It's just that with Tom and all that, it's very easy to see. Like, he keeps saying he had a spiritual awakening, which is not what a spiritual awakening has nothing to do with having sex with somebody else. Usually it's like a commune with a higher spirit. It's not a commune with Raquel, but it's like, you can see his moves coming 10 miles away, once he's caught in a lie. But with Raquel, it's much harder for me to read. And that's why I'm so curious. And I don't think we're going to be satisfied. I'm just curious to see her at the reunion. And I don't think we're going to be satisfied because it never seems like she's able to properly explain herself. Now, DJ James Kennedy, I've gotten a lot of shit for because, listen, the guy is funny as hell, you guys. I get it. But also, I'm one of the people that say I realize his past behavior. But how do we reconcile as an audience the past idiotic, hurtful? I mean, even this season, we keep saying how he calls everyone like, fat fucks. How do we reconcile that with actually kind of being funny and pointing out some truths about this situation?
Look, of course, James is problematic and has been problematic in the past, but he is freaking amazing TV. I'm sorry. He is. You done diddly fucked yourself over.
Yes. Raquel.
His little cocky cock, his pinky 40-year-old
He's 40-year-old cock. And it's like, at the end of the day, that's what I walked away thinking, like, oh my God, Tom Sandoval's cock probably does smell. Like, and I know that's like, he made me realize, I was like, of course it smells. Like, the guy he's always just with his band sweating. Like, DJ James Kennedy is right on the money. But also, I thought it was a very interesting aspect of it to watch him cry in the talking head, not about Raquel, but about Tom Sandoval. Of like, yeah, I thought we were friends, and he just threw it all away. He threw it all away.
I was interested in that too, because James was genuinely extremely hurt. And I couldn't tell if he really was like felt betrayed by Sandoval, like their friendship, or if he's just like genuinely not over Raquel. And I think maybe it could be a combination of both. Yeah. I don't know. But if I were
Allie's right there. Allie's right there.
Allie's right there. And it's like very obvious that he's like just not totally over Raquel. I mean, maybe now he is, now that this has happened. I have no idea, but it's definitely interesting. His reaction. He was way more, I knew that he would be pissed, but he was way more like emotional than I thought he would be.
But he always seems like those emotions are right there on the top of his, right there ready to get out. And they usually come out in the form of anger. But also he does tear up a lot, which I made the point on Friday. It's like we always, say women are so emotional, but the men of Vanderpump Rules proven to be way more emotional.
Ariana
being able to keep it together fairly so, in that first scene and being able to say what she did and scenes throughout. But then you have everybody, I mean, Sandoval trying to win the Razzie of a lifetime. When he goes into Schwartz, he's like, "Oh, sorry, man. I love you, man. I love you." And Schwartz is like, "I'm not going to kick you when you're down." Schwartz is so disarmed. He sits on the floor. Like the guy sitting, he's like, "This isn't real, dude." He's like thinking like the Matrix is happening or something.
I know. Schwartz's whole world was rocked.
Have you ever been in
Sandoval, James, like they're so emotional, which is, I'm not against men crying. I encourage men crying.
I cry all the time, but it's fake crying, Sophie.
Sandoval
was like fake. I believe DJ James Kennedy. I would believe if it's just weird. I don't know where. I don't know. And also now we have potentially Jax Taylor is coming back. We have that out there. And
wait, is he actually?
Okay, so here's good dirt. So they were supposed to pick up cameras in like a week and a half, and they paused the cameras now. They paused it. There was a Variety article with Alex Baskin, the head of Evolution, which produces Vanderpump Rules. Mm-hmm. Great article with Kate Arthur. And they put it on pause for a minute because, he said there is stuff that comes out of the reunion that the cast doesn't know, and we want to make sure they know that information before they decide if they want to come back. Now, a little of that is to get people excited, sure, but there is something there. And also, I think it's going to be dramatic enough where it's going to even draw a wider schism in there with Sandoval and Raquel for the rest of the cast. So whatever it is, I think they already don't want to film with him. This is going to potentially make it worse. But June 13th, I believe, at Sexy Unique Restaurant, DJ James Kennedy is doing See You Next Tuesday with special guest Jax Taylor. And that is usually when they start filming is that area.
I don't want Jax back.
Can you imagine DJ James Kennedy is the one that has to bring Jax back into the fold? And it's like they had one of the biggest feuds of all of that show. And now they're teamed up against Tom Sandoval.
I don't want Jax back.
It doesn't need it. They don't need it. They don't need it.
They don't need it. And Jax is so... I hate how and I tweeted this the other day because I saw someone being like, Jax was right about Sandoval the whole time. And it's like, you don't have to hand it to Jax Taylor.
Yeah,
Jax Taylor was not right about Sandoval as much as he was covering for Sandoval and covering for Schwartz. Like they were all covering for each other and knew that Sandoval was a piece of shit and then only had a problem with Sandoval when Sandoval was becoming the number one guy in the group. Like Jax was not right about anything. He is Sophie, so infuriating. I hate Jax.
Well, the thing with Jax too is that the only reason he called all of this is because he has the same exact behavior. He's done these same exact things and he's privy to all of their behavior, including his own. So he's not right about anything. And it's like, by the way, and also you said this a long time ago. You said in terms of this season is that this season was done by this cast. They did not need Stassi. They did not need Jax.
Exactly.
Dodie was a nice addition, but they did not need her. You could have had that you could have not had that scene in, and it would have been just as good of an episode in a lot of ways. So they did this themselves. So nobody needs to stunt cast like they do on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You don't need to do that with DPR.
Exactly. We don't need it. Jax would only make it worse at this point, in my opinion. He would not improve anything. Keep Jax off my screen. I know there are moments where people are like, you know what? I kind of miss Jax. Watch What Happens Live episode again, and you'll remember why he's the most infuriating.
And he makes up.
I just want to go like this. I just want to choke him out.
But also, by the way, I miss my grandma. It's okay. We miss people. It's okay to miss people. Go look at pictures or go look at old episodes. You'll be fine. But he is, I believe, coming back and a friend of capacity. We will see for sure. But it's going to be interesting
for us
to see what happens this week. It'll be interesting.
If anything, it would just be a friend of.
That's what I'm hearing. But listen, I know Lala desperately wants them back on. Speaking of Lala, not anything to do with her, the season finale, but this is the week of the Randall scandal premieres on ABC and Hulu, and it's an hour-long documentary about Randall Emmett.
I cannot wait for this.
Yeah. Kind of like they did, you guys, with the Hustler and the Housewife with Erica Jane and Tom Girardi. And I think this is so great because the Randall stuff has been swept under the rug. They brought it up in the first episode of this season in regards to the LA Times article. Randall has said, listen, this is a hit piece. The author of this is really good friends with Lala. But Randall, I don't even think we have to say allegedly anymore. He's a really bad guy, and I think people need to be aware.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad they're releasing it this week while Vanderpump is still hot, because I think this does carry an
so
important
excited
message
for it. Did you see the preview where it says that Lala like left in the middle of the night?
Yes, she escaped.
Yeah,
not without my daughter did.
Yeah, and Randall, like his assistant, went to go check, and her closet was empty, and he was like pissed. Like,
I'm sure.
I am like ready for this documentary. I think it's gonna be really good. And yeah, he's a bad dude. It's like been confirmed.
From my understanding too, is that he was at that moment like threatening Lala too, because I think she had been privy to some things right before all of this broke. And he was like, "You're not leaving me. You're not," kind of like really kind of threatening. And so there was fear involved. And that's why she did have to leave in the middle of the night. Like I've made fun of Lala on this season of the show a couple of times for the dawn and all of these things. But I will say, in regards to this Randall stuff, I really want this stuff to be out there. And I really think it's an interesting topic, probably not for this show, but in terms of, mothers being able to have the rights to have their kids over some very abusive fathers that have money and pay, pull, I think this is really important for women to be able to, take care of their daughters for the love of God.
Yeah, totally. I'm very excited to watch it.
So that is like Vanderpump Rules. There's by the way, this is actually in regards to Tom and his band. They're out on the road. There is a girl that he was hooking up with in Austin. I got sent pictures and a video of the girl. Like, he was staying in this Austin like condo, like really nice condos in Austin, and they were having a watch party, this girl, and then Tom Sandoval runs by while they're watching Vanderpump finale in the lobby, and they have video of Sandoval running to the elevator while they're watching the finale. And I guess this guy, Tom Sandoval, was hooking up with this blonde that lives in those condos. And if you do some digging, you can find out who the blonde is. But he's already out there. I guess he was using their workout room and talking to his manager. So this guy seems like he's really potentially kind of getting off on this attention. Like, why wouldn't you just chill? Why wouldn't you just chill? If you had the worst week.
He loves the attention. And so apparently there's this new chick in Texas, and I guess someone was like, oh, like pretending they didn't know him. And he was like, all the crazy chicks drove me out of LA, but that's where I'm from.
Why? Okay. It's just like, that's another reason, Sophie, why I don't believe the pregnancy rumor with Raquel Rachel, is because if that were true, even if they weren't together, I think Tom would like chill the F out if he's about to like be, brought up in the same mouth, as a father. I think he wouldn't be doing half of the shit he's doing now. So listen, like I said, it's possible Tom seems to make horrible decisions right and left, but part of me would really want to believe that he wouldn't be out there banging like chicks on the road and like so openly where people are getting video of him and things like that.
I would hope so. But
okay.
I genuinely don't believe the pregnancy rumor. Like, I just don't. I guess we'll see. Like, if I'm wrong, that would be insane. But like, I don't think it's true.
Well, and this is the other thing that I heard, God forbid, but is that maybe, I hope this isn't the case, but maybe there was a thought of Raquel Rachel maybe trying to self-harm in some way, which would be horrendous.
No one wants that. No,
of course. Like, by the way, I think we can be a fandom where it's like, yeah, obviously nobody wants any of that. And by the way, that's right before I was coming on. I looked really quickly, is that one of Tom's childhood best friends passed away, I think, unexpectedly over the weekend. Ali Rafiq, and Ariana and Kristen Doty both made posts about him, but like, it was one of Tom's childhood friends, and like, we can like still say, man, Tom, you are an idiot, but nobody wants anybody's like immediate friends or family to be harmed, or like, it's like, even that, like Ariana and Doty, like, were close with this person, immediately expressed their sorrow. And I mean, I would like, nobody wants anybody hurt with this, but I just think this people just getting away, and especially men getting away with this kind of behavior of hurting the people that they supposedly love the most. I think that's the kind of shit that's got to stop.
No, totally. Like, that, is worst case scenario. And like you said, you can recognize the fact that these people are horrible people. And also, that's
have you ever been cheated on in your life?
I I've been cheated on by like relationships that like in my mind didn't really matter. Like, you know, a high school boyfriend. I remember being so devastated when my high school boyfriend, I found out, made out with another girl at a party. Like I was devastated and all they did was make out. So, like,
but at the time, it probably felt like
the most crushing thing. So I can't even imagine how that feels. Like to know that your significant other, whether it's, you know, a one-time thing or a months-long affair where they're coming home to you after having sex with someone else, like, no, I can't even imagine how painful that is. And sending my love to anyone who's experienced that, because I can't imagine.
I think that's another reason why we're so attracted to this, is because we all know somebody or are somebody that's been cheated on. So I think that's another thing that kind of gets us there. Speaking of cheating, I wanted to recommend this to you, Sophie, and also the audience. I watched the first 2 episodes of this new FX, I guess, docuseries, The Secrets of Hillsong. Hillsong, of course, was a ministry that okay, it's on FX, you guys. It's on FX, but it's on Hulu. You can get it on Hulu as well. But it's Carl Lentz. If you remember Carl Lentz, he was, you know, kind of touted as Justin Bieber's spiritual advisor. He was a pastor at this Hillsong church, which is based out of Australia, but now they have, like, you know, outlets everywhere. It's a huge business, but it's a 4-part series. The next 2 parts come out on Friday. I watched the first 2 parts. It's really well done. And this Carl Lentz, they actually interview him. I think it's like 2.5 years after all of this story broke. And he was like cheating on his wife, who he had 3 kids with. I mean, he had a whole other double life, but it's once again in that thing of these men of power. You would think you would think they have everything, and they still are doing this kind of behavior. And this is a man of cloth, you know, this is the man of God. It's you got to watch it, Sophie.
And it's always the people that are preaching about, you know, what good people they are. Like Carl Lentz, for instance, like he was literally like leading a church and pretending to be this God.
People looked up to him.
Like, what a freaking hypocrite.
No, I mean, really, I mean, I knew something was wrong. Remember those paparazzi photos of him hanging out with Bieber, and he had his shirt off and you could see like his pube trail. And I was like, God, this seems weird. Like this, you know, he was like
very God-fearing.
God's happy trail of like, are you kidding me? Like, what is like, put a shirt on, bro.
I just found out, and I think I saw this on Twitter, that those, like, you know, when men have those, like, I don't know if you have them, Ryan, because I haven't seen you without a shirt in a while.
By the way, I just want to, Sophie, nobody will ever see me without a shirt. So I can already tell you, whatever this is, if it involves a muscle, I don't have it.
No, but you know those little like lines that
it's the V, yeah.
No, but I heard them, they were called cum gutters. Which I loved. I love that name.
That is beautiful.
The cum gutters. What were we even talking about?
Every year, remember, folks, you got to take them out and clean those cum gutters. Get a professional service, detail those.
A professional landscaper.
By the way, we just found our new soaking, you guys. This is amazing. Those cum gutters. I will also, wait, there's a story in this, you guys. He wasn't only cheating with this one girl, he was cheating with the nanny, who was also a pastor there was a nanny in Carl Lentz's house who also worked for the church and had her own family, and her husband was a pastor. She was their nanny for some reason, and he was cheating with the nanny, and his wife found them in a compromising position and like punched her in the face. And I was like, hell, which, by the way, we don't do violence, I know, but she didn't have Scheana's nails, so it was scientifically possible.
Okay.
I'm telling you guys, watch this. It's jaw-dropping, because anything with the background of religion I find fascinating already, because you're allegedly dealing with the highest person in the whole world, and you're still having these, like, what you classify as sins.
It's crazy. The hypocrisy.
It's hypocrisy. Another hypocrisy. This season of Summer House, the season finale is tonight. Did you watch last week's episode?
Yeah, I did. Like, what even happened? This show sucks. This show sucks. I'm so
I feel like it's such a mess that I kind of am enjoying the mess. But it's more of it's what we talk about all the time, of just everyone
hating Carl
Lindsay and Carl. which fine. Okay. But Danielle thinking like Danielle finally has lost me, which pains me to say because I'm such a big Danielle supporter, but I just don't see how she doesn't understand that her behavior, of course she wouldn't be involved in one of their biggest moments of their life. And you see how Carl, you see kind of why Carl did use drugs and alcohol so much, because I think I think he gets torn up by things so sensitive that he really does get torn up by these things. And I think he turned to alcohol and drugs because, you know, we see him, he's like, I ruined everything because I didn't fucking ask Danielle. Like he freaks out about this stuff.
Yeah. And that made me really upset on his behalf, that night was tainted because of, you know, that conversation with Robert and, you know,
Robert,
Danielle.
how dare you? Couldn't even be with your own girl, Robert. How dare you?
The fact that Danielle was like so shocked that they left the house. Like, why are you surprised? Why would they want to be around you?
Yeah, like, I mean, they do have friends that actually support. Even Amanda was like, yeah, I get it. You probably want to be in where people support you. And then Kyle goes, well, I mean, that just sucks though. Cause now it's like, you're against us. And I'm like, Kyle, that's the exact kind of attitude that Danielle has. So be careful of that. And also I want to remind you, Kyle, a month ago, you were literally saying this guy did coke at work. So the fact that you're now like, Mr. like, by the way, thank God he jumped on board finally, but that's what Danielle should have done. And it shouldn't. And then you just see like bedsore, like Paige just over there, like that's it. That's what I wanted. The Craig of it all. I never thought I'd feel bad for Craig Conover, but I do.
Do you see what I mean? That they are not
Sophie, I did my Patreon this week and I said, Sophie, I think is right, is that this is, in fact, I hope this season of Southern Charm is like nonstop Paige because I need to know way more about this relationship because it seems off the rails. Like off the rails.
She cannot stand that man. She cannot stand him.
Dude, he was crying.
Like,
and
the fact that, so like, we're talking about the fact that he was upset that he forgot his mom's birthday and he was out partying.
That's dark as well. Which, by the way, why didn't Paige know that it was his mom's birthday? Wouldn't you know your...
Yes, I of course would know my boyfriend's mom's birthday. And when he was on the phone, she like walked past and she was like, "Who are you talking to?"
Yeah, and
he was like, "My parents," and she was like, "Okay," and wasn't even like, "Oh my god, tell them I say hi." Like that was so weird. No, that was extremely weird. And then he was obviously very upset that he forgot his mom's birthday, like a dumbass, horrible son.
He was just,
and and Paige was like not comforting him, and then also making fun of him for crying to her friends. Yeah. Like that all was just like that was dark. That was dark.
I mean, that's why I think it does work for me is that kind of like to watch that. Like we don't have any answers, but to me that was fascinating television to see how Craig behaves with Paige and how he was crying to Kyle. He's like, and Kyle, he goes, I don't think I have anybody. And Kyle's like, that's not true, bro. You have your company. He says the company first. He's like, I love that in Kyle's head, the company will always be there. He's like, at the end of the day, I always have Loverboy. And then he goes, second, you have Paige. And Kyle goes like, sorry, Craig. Craig goes, no, I don't, man. No, I don't. But how dark is it that Kyle said the company first? That is your nice hug is your company.
It says it all. It says it all. But yeah, Craig, and I never thought I would feel bad for Craig either, and I still don't. But like, he felt so alone, and that's sad. And he feels alone in his relationship. But you know what? They're still together to this day, allegedly.
Oh, they were at the Met Gala. She was doing that thing, and he was like sitting right next to her. Like, but it almost seems like he begs. It feels like he begs. It reads as Craig like will do anything for Paige, and it doesn't read that that's the same way. Just from what we see on TV,
that he's definitely more into her than she's into him. Yeah.
Well, didn't you? This is the other theory I want to throw out there just to cause trouble. You know, he had that one scene with Sierra. What about Craig and Sierra? Because they were even like, what about? And they seem like they like the same things. They want to watch shows and eat popcorn together. And they were doing those shots together. And then later on in the episode, he's like, he's on his phone laying down next to Sierra in their bed. And Paige comes in. And by the way, there's no like weirdness, but like Paige comes in and it's not a weird thing at all. But like they're just sitting there like, and Paige gets in the bed, doesn't even lay near him. He like doesn't even try to go, come get next to me. Like Paige is very self-sufficient. And I think she likes to have a boyfriend, but I don't think at all it's necessary for her. She does not need it.
I just think she doesn't like him. I feel like, yes, she's self-sufficient, but I also think that Paige would want to eventually settle down with someone. Like, I feel like that's what she wants.
But is that because that's the societal pressure and also from her parents? I think that's the other thing too with a lot. I think Sandoval falls into this as well, is that they feel like they need to be in these relationships, but they do not have what it takes to actually be in a relationship past a certain amount of time. Like Tom wants to be... I feel like Tom wants to just be that rock star dude that like has orgies. Like it feels like that's what he's aiming for, or that's what he thinks is cool potentially.
Good luck, Sandoval, and good luck like keeping fulfilled with that lifestyle. You know, like if that is like, I feel like he really admitted that he's having a midlife crisis.
Yes.
Right?
By the way, he did. By the way, he doesn't even need to admit that. We know. We totally know.
But he's like, when I turned 40, I was like, dude, there's got to be more to life than this.
Could you imagine wanting more to life when, like, if you looked at his life from the outside, you might think it was a little goofy, but you're like, has a house, has a restaurant, has his name on another restaurant,
money, has a band, gorgeous,
beautiful woman, nice friends for the most part, Billy Lee, you know, like all of these things. And he's still, by the way, it's okay to want more and it's okay to be lost in your life with everything. I get the concept.
Yeah, totally.
Man, if you're lost with all of that stuff, you really
and it's also like you have to just not be short-sighted and play the long game and kind of be like, what will I be happy with when I am 70, 80 years old? You know, I feel like he's chasing those like very, very, very brief highs.
Yeah, he wants mushrooms at sunrise, hang gliding. He wants those wild things.
Your mushrooms and your Raquel, your mistress, are not going to be keeping you warm or taking care of you when you're 80 years old. I don't know. Again, it's like you are open to living your life however you want. And this isn't to say that everyone needs to like fall into societal norms, but it's like, I feel like he's not, just Sandoval in particular is not looking at the bigger picture of it all. Like he really blew up his life and like for what?
I think a lot of men do this,
sure, but he's not happy.
But a lot of men do this and they have this internal feeling and they think things like sex are going to heal it instead of actually what Tom should have done is gone into really deep therapy, and he still should be there. Yeah. I really will always say he shouldn't be on the road because what he's feeling is completely normal, but the way he's reacting to that, I think is completely abnormal and is something that's going to hurt him down the line. And just to use an example, there's that drummer, Tommy Lee from Motley Crue. And this is like the best case scenario is this man's been with, you know, Heather Locklear, Pamela Anderson, of course. And now he's with that influencer, online comedian, Brittany Furlan. They're married. Oh, yeah, but you look at him and you're like, the guy keeps getting older. You know, he's out there, he's rich, he's all of those things. But every time I see a Tommy Lee thing, I know this is sad. I shouldn't feel sad because he's living a great life, but I feel sad because then you can feel like sometimes he needs attention. So he'll like show his dong on Twitter. He'll be like, check this out, you guys. And I'm like, oh, okay, nice, Tommy. We know you have big dick. That's really awesome. Yeah, like congratulations. Cool. Yeah, cool, man. That's awesome. But you just feel like overwhelming sadness because he didn't like, I don't know, but I know everybody has their journey. Okay, so Summer House. I care more about the Paige Craig thing than I do anybody else on that cast right now. And I also wanted to tell you, people were telling me that Craig and Austin have this podcast, Pillows and Beer, I think it's called. And Madison was on, and I guess Madison, she actually makes fun of him she does the Madison when he got caught with those two women. I actually
love that about her.
Well, she brought up the A-Rod stuff again and talked about how much more in depth their relationship was. And I guess it really made some waves because A-Rod's people said she's just another person trying to get attention. They released a statement saying this is categorically false, but she's just another person that just so desperately wants attention. And I want to remind people that this is the reason why we have Bennifer, because A-Rod was with Jennifer Lopez. This broke thanks to Bravo. And then they broke up and Ben got back in there with J-Lo. We owe all of these memes recently to Madison.
Wait, so like, what did she even say on the podcast? Did she say they hooked up or they were just DMing?
She said there were multiple like conversations a day, that they were like there were plans to meet up. They're all like, it was just much more in depth than the information.
I believe women. Madison has no reason to lie.
By the way, it's completely believable. Madison
has no reason to lie, and obviously A-Rod is going to deny it.
Yeah, A-Rod's a man. Like, first off, sorry. And also, we live in a post-Sandoval society. It's like, yeah, of course, all of this is true, period.
Yeah, yep.
But also, she was like joking about it. She wasn't like in there going like, I'm going to tell you this. It was just kind of like matter of fact. Okay. Also, did you realize what this week is on top of all of this? And I love that you're not going to be able to guess it.
I don't know.
It's the return of season 3 of the Kardashians on Hulu this Thursday. Can you believe, or I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, it's this Thursday.
Good luck competing against Top Chef. First of all, Top Chef is so good this season, by the way. If you're not watching it, you have to watch Top Chef.
Top Chef's on Thursday on Bravo, you guys. It kind of gets overlooked because Tom Colicchio broke up with Raquel after last season Top Chef. So he really should have stayed with her. But isn't it wild that we're approaching a new season and there's minimal, they can't really seem to get that storyline out there that we care about? Like even Kim at Lakers games, who cares? It's kind of gross to have North like doing a Tristan Thompson sign. Like that poor girl. Like don't use North to support her stupid uncle that cheated, like made her aunt look like a clown.
The Kardashians were, in many ways, to quote Shep Rose, the architects of their own demise. And that's because on the show, they were so polished and it was so overproduced and it was all filled with fluff. And they were never revealing the actual drama or actual behind the scenes shit that people would care about. Nothing new. Like, why would anyone care anymore? And even though I know that this trailer actually like looked, I think, and I'm still not going to watch it. I didn't watch season 2. I think I watched like some episodes of season 1.
Yeah, I remember you watched like here and there. You didn't.
Yeah, but I didn't watch season 2 at all. And I did watch the trailer for season 3 and it did look interesting. I think there's actual beef.
Scott's back.
Yes,
I'm back, you guys.
It's me.
I'm Scott.
There is actual like beef, I think, between Kim and Courtney. Like
Courtney, yeah.
Drama. I can't remember what else happened in the trailer, but I was like, this actually does look like it could be dramatic, but I'm still not gonna watch because the episodes are just gonna be like highly filtered, like just overly produced nonsense.
I did want to read you this thing that I had posted in my stories last week because it infuriated me because in terms of pushing storylines, you know, they do this to themselves. Oh, that was it. Also, Sophie, they have a storyline where Kylie's like, I don't want my daughter to do the things she did to her body like I did, like talking about beauty standards. And I'm like, that was like kind of interesting that happened. But then Chloe snapped back. She clapped back at a hater on Instagram. She wrote this. Chloe wrote this in regards to Tristan. Stop pushing this narrative. It's tiring, but I suppose you guys will continue the narrative you want regardless of what I say. So what's the point? It's exhausting, but I learned people will only understand to the level of their own perception. Most are stuck at believing the lies because it's the narrative they want to fuel. Have fun. Some things are just as simple as they seem. A family member supporting another family member, especially during a difficult time in life. Example, just how I support Scott and will forever support him. He's my brother. It's just not on an NBA stage. Sad new world. If there's no photos, people think it really didn't happen. But yes, I see Scott often. Some things really are just as they are. Shut up.
The fact that she's comparing Tristan to Scott, like it's so different.
It's so different. Are you, by the way, like it's also, so
yeah. And circling back to like Kylie saying that she doesn't want her daughter to do to herself what she did, like, oh, but you're raising her literally in the spotlight. And same with like North and like, I don't know. It's just,
I think they're obviously very confused. Kim Kardashian this week is doing the Jay Shetty podcast. I guess Jay Shetty is a big, I don't know what you would classify him.
He's one of those. Yeah, like what does he even do? I don't know what he does, but he always talks
like
about
positive
relationships and love and like positivity. But apparently he cheats on his wife all the time.
Is that true?
Yeah. That's what I read recently, that he cheats on his wife all the time, allegedly.
Like, do you think?
Allegedly.
Wait, do you think though? Then they feel bad. Like, do you think Jay Shetty, if this is true, goes around feeling bad that he knows he's living this lie, or do you think he's like rationalized it to himself?
He makes so much money telling people how to live their lives while cheating on his spouse and how to have a successful relationship while cheating on his spouse. Like, what a freaking...
Wouldn't it be amazing if he was like, here's how to successfully cheat on your spouse and like use like his actual knowledge? Like, that's why I want Jax to come back and go...
His most recent book is called 8 Rules of Love. Like, shut up. How to find... The
first rule is lie.
Yeah. 8 rules of fucking... strangers raw.
How to clean those cum gutters. Jay Shetty. My book is How to Clean Those Cum Gutters by Jay Shetty. So wait. But the Chloe thing too is like, Chloe, you dork. Of course we're going to say this because everything points to you guys, and including sources within your family, that you've gotten back together with Tristan. So say all that you want. Keep arguing the fact. But the fact that you your family pushes this narrative. We don't. Your family does. First off, maybe like just at your mom on this and not at us. Stop yelling at us. Like, the calls are coming from within the house. And that's why I get so pissed off, because it's like, you just want attention. Like, just talk to Tristan about this, or talk to your mom about this. Don't talk to us. Of course, you make money off the back of us, the public. So don't then yell at us when we choose what we want to pay attention to based on the information that is pushed out to us, usually from within your camp. Right.
I also like, what was that whole like Kim at the basketball game with the Tristan sign? Like, I know it was for attention, but it just makes
it's a lot.
Bad. It makes you all look stupid. Like, it's embarrassing. It's not.
But also,
like
if a man does this repeatedly, and this is, but why have any, like, your family can support them not on the world stage, support them behind the scenes. Tristan isn't really even playing many minutes in the Lakers games at all. Like, so why go support him and have she's like, North just wanted to go support her uncle. I'm like, is North aware what her uncle has done besides the 2 kids given like to Chloe? Like, do you know that does she know her uncle? Like, I feel like North should be aware of him before she holds up a sign supporting him. Like, I feel like she's not been given all the information potentially.
But like, she's also so young. She shouldn't have all the information. But at the same time, she's out and about on the town like she's 21 years old.
Oh, I know. I mean, like,
she's been dressed lately. Like,
and it's when she's getting to that. Remember when we all had that awkward phase growing up, you guys? What did it hit? Like 11, 12, 13?
Oh my God. I can say 100%. I had my bat mitzvah when I was like about to turn 13. So I was still 12. I was the ugliest I have ever been. The braces, I was so awkward and so ugly.
So can we get a pic? Could we get a pic on this? I'd love to get a pic. Amy Ross, if you're listening, please send me. Amy, you have my information. Please send me a picture of Sophie at her bat mitzvah.
Oh my God, it's so.
Oh, by the way, your
ugly.
sister posted that picture with the baby. It was so beautiful this week on the Instagram.
My nephew is so cute.
Oh my God,
I love my nephew so much. I got to spend a lot of time with him this weekend. He is. It's been 2.5 months since Sandoval. You'll always remember where you were when you first found out you were an aunt.
Okay, sorry, you were so ugly at your bat mitzvah.
Oh yeah, I was so ugly. And now kids these days, they don't go through the awkward ugly phase. And I feel like it's very important for like character development.
Wait, what do you mean they don't? Like, they physically don't, or they just? What do you mean they don't?
They physically don't. Like 12 and 13-year-olds are on TikTok looking amazing. I was gonna say hot, and I'm like, guys, no, sorry, don't call the police on me.
We got pulled off the air this week.
No, but like 12 and 13-year-old girls now are like on Instagram. Oh my God.
Was that like Travis Barker's daughter, Alabama? I thought she was a 35-year-old woman, and she was like 15 years old or something.
She makes me sad because she does look like she's 35.
I mean, I'm not joking. I really thought she was way older than she is.
Because of social media. So like, even separately from like Northwest and the Kardashians, like social media is like making these kids grow up so fast, and they're like skipping like be an ugly 12-year-old who like doesn't
learn to be a nerd a little bit. You gotta learn to be awkward.
Yeah, and you're never going to have that time back in your life. You'll spend the rest of your life caring about how you look. Like, let 12-year-olds be 12-year-olds, you know? Like, it's so...
Yeah, because most 12-year-olds can't afford Birkins on top of that as well. Like, you know, the Kardashians throw money at all of these things, but even like just kids out there, that I am old, but it's like that's the thing that does worry me about social media is that I think about my niece when she's allowed to have, you know, be on those apps. How would you not? My mind is affected by what I see. How are their minds not affected at that young of an age? You know,
it's scary. It really is scary. Like, it really is.
Okay, as we start winding down, God, this went so quick. Well, we still have like 10 minutes. Okay, so by the way, Fast and Furious came out. My Fast family, Fast and Furious, I think it's 10 came out this weekend, and it didn't do well. It didn't do well. I guess it did only like 65 million at the box office, which sounds like a lot of money, folks. But I think the last one brought in like 200 million. But this, shouldn't they just stay away from cars, this family? Because it seems like bad things come from these cars. They're always, and like, how do the cars get flown over to all these exotic locations? It doesn't make any sense to me, the Fast family, but it seems like a movie you'd love. It seems like this is like a movie you'd love.
My Fast family.
I'm the black sheep of my Fast family.
Oh my God. I actually did love like the first 2 or 3 Fast and the Furious. Like, I loved them. I remember watching them we had like an upstairs room called the Playroom at my childhood home, the Playroom. And I would watch them in the Playroom all the time. I loved them. But as
when you were awkward at your bat mitzvah, you'd be like,
yes,
I want to hang with my Fast family. I'm Sophie.
Also, Top Chef did a Fast and the Furious segment.
Yeah.
And it was the mise en place race, which is like the speedy, like prepping race.
Please say Vin Diesel was out there to do this with them.
I like want that whoever comes up with like the sponsors.
Oh yeah, you talked about this a couple weeks ago. You said you will want to do the sponsored content.
Dream job.
So like, the Uber commercial you want to do in Vanderpump Rules. You want to be like, all right, girls. That also.
Like on Top Chef this past week, it was sponsored by Finish dish soap. And I guess part of their thing is like conserving water and sustainability. So there was a steaming challenge and every contestant only got like a tiny bit of water to steam with. And I'm like, who makes that connection? Like, how do you get from Finish dish soap to let's have a steaming challenge?
Yeah,
like, it's so interesting how their brains
challenge, work. You're going to make a dish out of dish soap. Like, how is that? How would you even go from like, that doesn't really make tons of sense.
Wait, also my sister was asking me because she's also a Top Chef fan. So you know how Padma for years is like $250,000 furnished by San Pellegrino.
Yeah.
And now they have a new water sponsor.
Is it like Propel or something?
Who is the new water sponsor? Oh my God, this is going to bother me.
Wouldn't it be great if it was like Monster, like a Rockstar energy drink or something
Saratoga.
like that?
Yeah.
Ooh, Saratoga.
It's Saratoga water. Furnished by Saratoga water.
Wait, do they still have a spread in Food and Wine magazine and a spread in Food and Wine
the
magazine?
Spread is never going away. Yeah.
Did you see that? What is it? Sports Illustrated? Padma did that bikini, her and Martha Stewart, but she looks hot. Am I allowed to say that? Is that all right?
Wow. If you
she looked really.
I know she looks amazing, but that reference is Watch What Crappens Padma impression is like the wow.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I just derailed that a lot.
No, you didn't derail at all. Anyway, I was just talking about Fast Family and that I remember making fun of this show a couple years ago when they were like gearing up to do this during the pandemic or right on the whatever. And The Rock said he was not going to participate and be part of the Fast Family. And Vin Diesel put out this Instagram post of like, come on, Rock, you're part of the family forever. You are part of the I know this isn't a good Vin Diesel. He's like, you're part of the Fast Family. And I guess Vin Diesel's like very serious when it comes to the Fast Family and you can't just get out of it. And The Rock was like, screw you, Vin. You made me wait around on scenes. You didn't come to set on time. And then this is a spoiler alert. Actually, you probably don't want to hear this either, Sophie. I was going to do a spoil alert about something.
No, do it. It's fine.
Okay.
But what is it for?
For the Fast and Furious.
I'm not watching.
Okay, well, skip past a minute. So in the credit scene, The Rock comes back to the Fast Family, you guys. The Rock comes back after leaving the Fast Family. He comes back But also he comes back because that Black Adam movie that for Warner Brothers completely bombed and DC's like going a whole different direction. So he had to come back to the Fast family because he lost his other franchise. So if you guys, they're doing another Fast and Furious and The Rock is back in the Fast family. Woo!
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Okay, and then finally, well, actually, one of the last things, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills shot their season finale last night at SoFi Stadium, which, by the way, I was right next door at the Forum seeing Dead and Company with your man, Mr. John Mayer, last night. I saw the Dead and Company.
How was it?
Listen, this is their supposedly their last tour, and it was beautiful. I mean, like, listen, you can't, but this John Mayer, man, just like, I always say this, like, leave a little for the rest of us, John. Like, this guy can do it all. Like, the voice is too beautiful
really
out there.
Not an exaggeration. Like, if you've ever seen him live, and I hate to like dick ride John Mayer. I mean, I would love to dick ride John Mayer.
Oh, how dare you? You have a boyfriend.
You know what I mean? So, like, I know that he has his flaws, and if you're a Taylor Swift fan or whatever, which, by the way,
or he called Jessica Simpson, he treated her poorly.
Yeah, Jessica Simpson. I'm also very like, I'm like revoking my Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, I forgot to bring up Maddie Healy and you.
The Maddie Healy of it all. Like, I know, I feel like we did talk about it 2 weeks ago, but like, I am just so disappointed in her. Maddie Healy is a horrible person and a piece of shit. And it makes Taylor Swift look really bad. She obviously knows all the shit he's done because how could she not? And yeah, it's extremely disappointing. But anyway, back to John Mayer. Seeing him live, it's like a revelation. I've seen him live several times now, including last year. And he's just so consistently, like, his voice is just like nothing else. Like, he's just so
I mean, I hate to, it's unfair. Like, the guy is so... And Dead Company, he's not there doing his joke shtick, which he's very funny. I hate that he's funny, but he's funny. He doesn't like that, they're not talking, but they're just so into the music and the way he knows every one of those songs, the way he, like improvs with all the other men on stage, including Bob Weir, one of the, heads of the Dead. Like, it really is amazing. But I was so pissed last night. I was like, around me to the group, I was like, he called Jessica Simpson sexual napalm. That's gross. He, like, I can't, I don't want this guy to be his, like, I sit there and I fall in love with him during the show, and I hate that about myself.
One of my favorite John Mayer moments was when he was bartending on Watch What Happens Live when like Sierra and Andrea were on.
Oh yeah,
and he
Denver
was
Nuggets.
Bartending, and then he asked Andrea if he thought about having the name the Andrea Nuggets. Because apparently he chose the last name Denver because of the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, he's a huge NBA fan, Denver Nuggets. But see, he's friends with Andy, which I want to be friends with Andy. He's all of those, but it was so damn good. But anyways, right next door is SoFi Stadium, which is, 3 times the size of the Forum, I believe. That's where the football games, like big concerts. I just saw Billy Joel there a while back, and they shot the finale, and the finale is Erica Jane doing a concert performance, like EJ Global, everybody, yeah. And so it was the season finale last night, and Denise is there. Aaron is there in the scene. Aaron, Denise's husband.
Twitter.
I cannot wait to see if he talks about 5G and Big Pharma. But this is the Erica comeback season, and I cannot wait to make fun of it so much because she's doing her big Vegas review at the House of Blues Bar and Grill in Vegas. And but also that's a lot of money to rent out SoFi Stadium, I would imagine. So who's putting up that money? Because I don't imagine that's
a lot of money.
Is Evolution paying like $400,000?
Where the Rams play. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sophie, it's a Saturday night. Like, I know they were already done by the time I was at a Dead and Company, but I was like, holy shit. They're like, that's a big budget to like, so is Bravo paying that? Is Erica Jane paying that? Or is somebody involved with Erica Jane paying that? I have this really weird suspicion that somebody is bankrolling her life again. And I'm very curious who that man is or woman. That's
a great question. Great question.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you. That is it. Okay, yeah, but yeah, I was gonna bring that Taylor Maddie thing, but you're kind of like Taylor Swift said at a concert this weekend. I think she said that she is the happiest she's ever been in her life right now. That her life, not just with this tour, has fully come together. And I think a lot of Swifties are scared. We're like, wait a sec, why is Maddie part of that? Like that's not good. If because Maddie Healy, we talked about this. I had that Emily Rose that it's become a whole thing. She did the Stuff I Hate journal
Oh,
that we talked about.
Emily.
Did she send you one? I think she was sending you one. Because she talked. Okay, good.
Yes, I'm so excited to read it.
We talked all about that Maddie Healy thing, and I just think people should look up a lot of the things he said. I'm just curious how
awful.
Taylor.
There was that BuzzFeed article that apparently Taylor's team was trying to bury, which is also.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, which is also BuzzFeed wrote a whole article about how a lot of Taylor's fans are like turning on her over this. Like, it's like just indefensible. It really is.
No, but Sophie, I guess the last thing I'm curious though is, even with John Mayer had a period of like saying really kind of not this bad of things, but saying like treating women and talking about women in a certain way. I know he did a Playboy article that said some really wild things. Where do we, with celebrities and people we look up to in our lives, is how do we get past, how do we extend forgiveness? How do we know somebody's being honest or somebody that is worthy of forgiveness? And is this any of our business? That's the question I keep going.
Well, Maddie Healy has never apologized for anything. So it's like, if you start with an earnest, genuine apology, we can maybe go from there. But Maddie Healy has never apologized for any of the shit he said. So yeah.
You just get the vibe he really loved. You get the vibe he really loves this. Like, he really loves the Taylor, to be around the Taylor of it all.
He's like, I'm the British bad boy, and she's like the good girl.
And I think she kind of digs that too. I mean, I could be, but by the way, if anybody does want to give their Taylor Swift tickets up in protest, I'm happy to take them for the LA show. Just to check it out with my own eyes. Me too. Anything else that is going on? Anything that you're watching or have watched this week? And are you in Cincinnati for the rest of the week, or are you headed back?
No, I am flying back tomorrow morning.
What did you go? Did you go hard at the wedding last night?
Yes, went very hard at the wedding last night. We also went to the casino after. So I don't gamble. No, I don't gamble. I just like watch people gamble. And my brother-in-law was having a very lucky night. My boyfriend was not having a lucky night, unfortunately. So yeah, we were out way too late. I'm very tired today and hungover. And yeah, flying back to New York.
You're out there living, dude. You're living a full life. I love hearing Sophie's stories. Like, that is truly living. So congratulations.
It doesn't feel like it. When I'm at like a casino in Cincinnati, Ohio, I'm like, this is living.
Wait, I know this sounds silly, but does anybody ever notice you from like your Twitter account or anything like that? Or does anybody ever?
No, literally never. I've never had anyone come up to me and be like, oh my God, I'm such a fan. Actually, I mean, there were people at the wedding, but they know me because
they know
a family wedding and they know me. And they're like, oh my God, I love your Twitter. Like, I have that happen, but no one like recognizing me on the street. But you know, what's funny is that one time someone DM'd me and was like, I just was at Whole Foods and I definitely like recognized your boyfriend. He held the door for me. And I thought it was so funny that like my boyfriend got recognized and I've never been recognized.
Hey, also shut that shit down. Go, you do not ever recognize my boyfriend. No.
I thought it was so funny.
Okay, that was the thing I wanted to tell you in terms of Jax. I was in a DM conversation with Jax Taylor during the reunion or during the finale on Wednesday night. God. And I tell you, it was the why, because I was like, he was like, why, what do you think about all this? And I was like, well, I really looked up to Tom and I'm really kind of disappointed. And he literally goes, you looked up to Tom? You could even hear his voice. He's like, you looked up to Tom? Why the hell would you do that? That dude's a liar. And I'm just sitting there going, and then I was almost like, I'm sorry, Jax. Like, I was almost, and then I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I apologizing to Jax? I was like, he's like, why would you ever look up to somebody like that? I can't believe that. And he was kind of like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, why am I apologizing to Jax Taylor about liking Tom?
Shut up, Jax. Were you not his best friend for like 15 years? Like, shut the fuck up, bitch.
And then Jax said he's seen all of the reunions, and I just don't think that's true. I do not think Jax Taylor has seen all the reunions, because if he was, he would have like leaked everything, because he
would have spoiled everything already. Like,
because I said,
you guys, Jax is a pathological liar.
But I said, you've seen that. Yeah, I said, you saw this. She goes, dude, yeah, I've seen this in the reunions. And I just don't think that's possible, because I don't even think I think Lala was able to watch the first part of the reunion a couple days ago. So there's no way he's seen all the reunions.
Absolutely not true.
But I shouldn't have to apologize to Jax, right? Like, I shouldn't have to feel, okay. I just wanted to get that.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay, Sophie Ross, ladies and gentlemen. This goes way. That's somebody tweeted me or said, "Oh my God, you need to have Sophie again on last Sunday," because of it feels like Vanderpump Rules is just taking over. So it is one of those wild things that I'm like, oh shit, I got to talk to Sophie about this. And then 2 weeks, it's just way too long. So hopefully this 2 weeks will fly by.
We're going to have 2 reunion episodes to discuss.
Oh my God. Okay, you guys. Well, hang on there. Have the best week ever, you guys. Sophie, you have the best week ever. How can we support you this week besides going to follow you on the old? Oh shit! I'm going to talk about Selling Sunset at the beginning, but Sophie, Selling Sunset,
I know,
fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Chriselle calls somebody a crackhead. She's like a narc. She's with G Flip. They're dressed like the X-Men. It is hysterical.
On the show.
She's in 3 or 4 scenes and it's hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
It is. She's teaching her how to play the drums in one of the scenes. And I compared it to the ghost scene when Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze are doing the pottery. It's very erotic. It's not really erotic, but it cracked me up. It is so unintentionally funny. It is so much better than last season, but it's a big stamp of approval because it's so damn ridiculous. It's the kind of thing that they're all doing, selling houses, but it's the most basic. They're like, okay, he didn't take the offer. What should we do? You know what? I've heard about this. We should try to counter. It's like house selling, real estate for dummies, and it's hysterical.
Basic real estate terminology.
It's
fake real estate agents. I love that.
Just watch one episode and see if you can get into it. Okay.
You convinced me to. You texted me about it. Now I'm convinced because I remember last season being so boring, and I think it was Christine. Sorry.
But also, I think coming off the Vanderpump Rules to have something this fake is funny as hell. It's this nice palate cleanser to realize how ridiculous. These people are going to just normal restaurants dressed up like they're at the Met Gala, and it's hysterically funny. It's really funny to me.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah. Sorry to your boyfriend if you make him watch that as well. Okay. Sophie Ross, ladies and gentlemen, have a great week. Bye.